All right. Happy Friday, everybody. It's the end of the week. A great time to think about relaxing and a great time to really get some time to kick back, give yourself a recharge. Remember, it's always important. And one thing about Harambe, the spirit of Harambe, is to try to encounter everything you experience in a positive way. So just another aspect of something we've learned about Harambe. When you think about the incident that happened, that is the lesson we can learn from Harambe. So take some time, recharge. Remember, happiness is an action, not a reaction. So, figure your responses. And it's an important thing to remember too when we engage in animal rights conversations with people, which is coming up. So what we want to do today is talk about the incident. Who is at fault? There is a lot of controversy surrounding this. If you've seen the movie, you know the information that we have made available, that we've discovered. And if you haven't, we're going to show it to you right now. We're going to show you the scene from this very unfortunate day from May 28th, where unfortunately a young Isaiah fell into the gorilla enclosure, and Harambe was in a place he never usually was. So a lot of people are arguing, is it the mom's fault or is it the zoo's fault? It's a very, very compelling question. We're going to take a few minutes. Normally we don't take this long watching a video. It's about 2.5 minutes. And let's watch the event unfold. There's footage from the day. And then let's come back and talk about who's to blame.
Cincinnati 911.
Hi, my son fell in the zoo exhibit at the gorilla. There's a male gorilla standing over him. I need someone to contact the zoo, please.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Mommy's right here.
Harambe held the child's hand to comfort him.
This whole tragedy was a misunderstanding.
The fire department was already at the zoo for another medical emergency and rushed right over to control the scene.
I don't know for sure if he was trying to protect him, but I know he wasn't trying to hurt him.
If Harambe had violent or aggressive intent, he could have squashed the child with one blow. He didn't do that. The air was full of people screaming, and a frightened child is there, and he dragged the child through the water. Now that is not a human thing to do, but it is a very gorilla thing to do. When a silverback is stressed, he will rush through the family and thump somebody or grab somebody. It doesn't do any lasting damage, but it makes him feel better, I guess, or it certainly establishes his dominance. He stands the child up and sort of adjusts his shorts and is clearly fascinated at the same time as being tense and nervous. He didn't know what was going to happen next. He couldn't have known what was going to happen next. It was normal behavior for a stressed silverback.
The instinct of the people watching, of course, was that he was going to hurt the boy or kill the boy, whereas his instinct was the opposite of that. People don't give credit to animals for understanding, particularly an animal that shares so many genes as we do.
I think this is any parent's worst nightmare come true. And to see the animal confronting the child and interacting, I think, you hear the screams, you hear everyone freaking out.
His act of love was repaid with a single shot that exploded his head on impact. Although this incident was heralded by the zoo and zoo associations as a victory of the DART team, the general public saw it from a different angle.
Why did the zoo have to shoot an animal? Is there no better way if the animal didn't seem like they were being overly aggressive? Yes, there was dragging, there was splashing, there was a lot of things going on, but there was also a lot of moments where you could tell that this animal didn't look like they were going to kill the child.
We're so excited to be at the zoo today. Are you ready?
parent's worst nightmare. Absolutely. The video is a very terrifying moment, and unfortunately, the port of entry most people had to Harambe. But Harambe didn't stop there. Harambe has continued from that day forward. And the idea of the entire movie is to bring a voice to what happened, not only to the family, but what happened to Harambe. Now, the reason we left a little bit of the clip in to show the Cincinnati Zoo commercial is to show that the TV ads are clear that this is advertised for children. Excuse me. So you have a place that is designed and advertised and says, come on, bring the kids in. It's going to be fun. Come on in. There's plushies you can buy. I mean, you know, it's a very child-oriented thing. It's very safe. And there's a lot of expectation, I think, from people that visit the zoo. So my question is, what level of expectation do you have? Now, there are two sides to what we're about to talk about. Some people feel the mother is to blame. Some people feel the zoo is to blame. In our investigation, making this movie, what we uncovered was that the responding officers did not think a crime had been committed by the mother, which means no neglect had happened. The DA confirmed that, and there were no charges against the mother. The zoo, on the other hand, was found to be responsible of having a faulty fence. They are legally responsible. They actually, we don't really know. We know the parents never spoke out. We know they never responded to us when we tried to reach them for the movie. So it's a very touchy subject, and we don't know if they maybe received some sort of settlement from the zoo with a non-disclosure and with a, just don't talk about it type of event. But we hope the family is happy and healthy and doing well and hopefully safe and away from the spotlight. So our goal in the movie is not to bring them back in, but what we found was an overwhelming amount of people feeling the mother is responsible. And we want to know what you think today. And by the way, there's a link in the description. Please click on it and join me on camera. This is a time for all of us to talk. It's a time for all of us to discuss this because we want everybody there. We are actually hoping that we can find a way to get Thane Maynard from the Cincinnati Zoo to come join us on Harambe Day. We think it would be very important for the zoo to have a talk. The zoo has refused to speak to us the whole time because it's an incident that they just don't want to talk about because, there's a lot of questions about their decision. Now, in the video, you notice that Harambe knew where his exit door was, and he went to the exit door. So we're not here to question that. But what we are here to talk about is, was it the mother's responsibility or was it the zoo's responsibility to keep the child safe, even if he's out of the mother's eyes? Now, Jeff McCurry told us in interviews that a lot of the parents would put their children on the fence. And it was so common that he had a speech prepared warning parents that their children could easily fall into the exhibit if they helped them bypass the fence. Now, that's not what happened on May 28th, but it's an example of the level of security that families and parents feel when they're in a place like a zoo. They expect a certain level of security and safety more than just a little teeny fence separating them and their children from what they consider to be a dangerous wild animal. So, when we were shooting, and you can see it in the movie, we found people putting their kids on the fence. Kids were standing up on the fence. The new fence, this is the replacement fence from the day it happened because the USDA fined the zoo and said, you have to change your fence. And they had to reconstruct a new fence. We went and saw it. It's in the movie. And they're just holding their children up there. So fences, from the zoo's perspective and from the average zoo goer's perspective, are problems to seeing the exhibit, not barriers for safety, which the rest of us see, both for the people and the animals. So I wanted to thank everybody for joining me today. Let's talk more about it. I'm really excited to see your comments down below. I want to know what you think. what happened that day? Who is responsible? And also, is there a way that we can try to avoid this in the future? Of course, our perspective is, simple. Harambe shouldn't have been there. And if Harambe's not there, it won't happen again. That's what our goal is on Harambe Day. So glad to join us. Oh, by the way, real fast before we go, this t-shirt, as you saw in the very beginning, is something that we wore when we went to the zoo. We heard that somebody had been asked to remove their shirt at the Cincinnati Zoo, and there we are at the Gorilla World. This is while we're shooting the movie, and we're with Jeff as he's going back into the zoo. So we made the shirt. Sierra and I printed this shirt up. It's only one of a kind. We decided to wear it to the zoo to see if they would kick us out. Much to their credit, they did not approach me once about my shirt. And we were in the zoo for quite a few hours. It wasn't like we just, we were there. We were trying to get in all the exhibits, understand what was happening, try to really understand the location of what happened that day and see it firsthand. And it was really sobering experience. It was really, really difficult to see so many upset, sad, shut down, sentient beings. So anyway, that's the story behind this shirt. We want to know if people are interested in having a Harambe shirt. We were going to talk about trying to make it available for everybody. So anyway, thank you again for joining us. We love to hear your opinion. Who is responsible for this? Who is at fault? Let's talk a little bit more. I'm curious to see what you think. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Look forward to seeing you.